second edition of the Family Summer Series. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight's topics focus on student leadership and engagement. My name is Adam White. I work for the Office of New Student Orientation here at the University of Tennessee. I am not alone either. We have some fantastic members of our UT community who I'll have introduce themselves here in just a second. But first, want to give a quick overview on how tonight's session is going to run. And to be honest, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you as our new incoming family members. Please do not be shy and ask us your questions in the chat, and we will be going through them, and I'll have our fantastic panelists provide their expertise and perspective. I'm going to try and get through as many as we possibly can. We might not be able to get to them all, but don't worry. We have some other staff members behind the scenes that will be answering other questions via chat as well. So even if I don't get to yours here on the screen, more than likely we'll still get you an answer or response in the chat. So just be on the lookout for that. So again, we have some fantastic panelists joining us here this evening, and I would love for them to kick us off here and introduce themselves by just sharing their name, position, and department or group that they are representing tonight. And Jennifer, if you wouldn't mind getting us started.
Sure. Hello, good evening. My name is Jennifer Pierce-Thomas, and I serve as the Associate Director in the Office of Sorority and Fraternity Life.
Fantastic. Laura?
Hi, folks. My name is Laura Catola, and I serve as the Assistant Director in the Jones Center for Leadership and Service.
Wonderful. Claire?
Hi, everyone. My name is Claire Donlin. I use she, her pronouns, and I am serving as the Student Body President, so Student Government Association.
Wonderful. And Nika? Oh, I think your sound might be muted. That's okay. All right. Well, she's figuring that out. We'll make sure she gets a chance to introduce herself. Just give us a thumbs up once you think you're good to go. Thank you again, all four of you, for joining us here this evening. And again, providing your expertise surrounding all things student leadership and engagement here at UT, specifically as we look to provide that information for our new incoming family members, right? Such an important population as we prepare to orient a fantastic and very large new group of volunteers here in just a couple of months. I'm going to give it a minute or two for questions to start filtering in. So I'm going to just go ahead and start with a general one that might not be specific to your particular units. But you know, the fall's like coming, right? We're coming off of an interesting academic year, right? I don't know about you. I'm excited for this fall and for our incoming, to meet a lot of our new incoming students. How are we feeling, everybody? How are we feeling? What's the excitement level like? Just where's our head at? Claire, I see a lot of head nods and smiles from you. So it looks like you have something to say. So I want to go ahead and let you chime in here first.
Yeah, definitely. I think that every student can say that they're excited to come back to campus. I know it being my senior year, I'm very excited to be on campus again and get to see everyone in person. As far as student government goes, I think that our student services committees are going to do a great job hosting a lot of in-person events. So that's probably what I'm looking forward to the most. And I know generally speaking, a lot of people are just excited to see each other and hug each other and be on campus again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about that. Jennifer, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm really not good at technology. So I'm really excited for things to be back in person because it's a lot easier to host programs and do services when you don't have technology involved. So very excited for that.
Absolutely. Laura, quick thoughts?
Yeah, so I am excited for everything that's already been shared. In addition to, our office puts on a program called Ignite, and that starts in about 2 weeks. So fall for us kind of kicks off in like 2 weeks. So we are getting real excited in the Jones Center.
You don't waste any time, do you, Laura? Jump right in. Anika, are you with us here? Do you think you have?
I hope so. Is it working? Yes. Okay.
Right.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Neka Walson. I serve as a coordinator in the Center for Student Engagement, and I'm super excited because Not only are we seeing our students, but this will be my first time seeing what campus looks like filled with students. This is going to be my first full year as of all. So I'm just excited. And my position, I work primarily with student organizations. So I know with the community I serve that it's been very challenging. We've had a challenging year with recruitment and, bringing students in. They are begging to be outside and wanting to be around people. So I'm really excited to see faces and just see what campus looks like with people.
Nneka, I apologize for mispronouncing your name there. Thank you for fixing that sound. We're glad that you're joining us here. And all four of you, thank you for sharing your thoughts and perspective. And again, I can echo the excitement level, I think is going to be at an all-time high here for a while. We have a question here, and I'm going to throw it to Jennifer first. Of course, sorority and fraternity life, I think, is going to be a popular topic tonight, right? Which is great, and which is why we're thrilled to have Jennifer with us. Jennifer, do you mind providing just like a general, just kind of, I get like a thoughts or a spiel on just recruitment things, right? We're going to get some specific ones, I know, but I have a feeling if you just kind of provide an overview, it more than likely will answer a lot of them that are coming in. One in particular, just to kind of give you an idea, is we have a question about, freshmen who have registered for Fraternity Rush, are they given early move-in dates, and when will those be? How important are letters of accommodation for students going through sorority recruitment? So those are the questions that are already coming in, and I know those are pretty specific. So if you could maybe start more generally and then kind of work your way into some of those details, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm going to say our community is made up of 4 different councils. So there are 4 different ways to get involved, and they do things in 4 different ways. So I would encourage you or your student to make sure that you go to our website, which is gogreek.utk.edu, and give that a good look over, because there are sororities in 3 different councils, there are fraternities in 3 different councils, and so it's going to be important for your student to know about all of those, to know which one they want to go through. Because like I said, each process is a little bit different. So I'm going to assume that the Fraternity Rush is talking about IFC fraternity recruitment. No, they will not move in early because recruitment does not start until the first day of classes. And so they will move in just like regular. So when housing starts to communicate with people about move-in dates, they will sign up for those dates. For the women who are participating in Panhellenic sorority recruitment, if you sign up by July 16th, if you are registered by then you will be guaranteed an early move-in spot. After the 16th, I can't guarantee an early move-in spot. But there should be plenty of times to move in before sorority recruitment starts. For our students who are interested in our MPHC, which is our Divine Nine, or historically Black fraternities and sororities, or our Multicultural Greek Council, which is made up currently of 6 organizations that range from Latina to Hispanic, anything that deals with culture. We are having Meet the Greeks, which will be also on the first day of class. And that's a really great opportunity to get to know all about these organizations, about their intake and recruitment processes, and what they have to offer. So that's your broad general view. My favorite question, I texted Laura earlier and said, I bet I'm going to get a recommendation letter question. So it's interesting. This year's different. There's lots of groups that are changing their policies. There are some groups that are no longer accepting recommendation letters at all. And there are some groups that are now no longer required. So I'm going to tell you that if you can get it, great. If you cannot, please do not stress about it, because it is not a make or break situation. You will still have plenty of opportunities, and it will not hurt you in the process if you do not have a recommendation letter for each chapter.
Jennifer, great information, and thanks so much. And I'm sure it won't be the last time we get a question for you here. Do you think, before I pop over to somebody else, could you provide just how do students register, for recruitment? What's the deadline? What's the timing around that process?
Yeah, great question. So again, our website's going to be the best resource of information. So go greek.utk.edu. Panhellenic sorority recruitment registration will end on the 8th of August. IFC fraternity recruitment registration will end the day that recruitment starts. So that's the first day of classes, the 18th. And then for MPHC and MGC Meet the Greeks, you don't really have to register. It's more of like an interest form. Anyone can show up to that event.
Thank you. Fantastic. Yes, and make sure to check out their website. There's tons of information that Jennifer's talking about here, and probably more than what we'll even be able to get to this evening. So definitely check it out. Laura, it looks like you're up next. We got some questions coming in about Ignite, which is really exciting. I know, like you said, it's coming up here soon, and I think I see one about Ignite Knox as well. Can you first talk about like why should students do Ignite, participate in Ignite, I'm sorry, and then I'll dive into maybe some more specifics here in just a second, but let's start there.
Yeah, I'm happy to. We love talking about Ignite. I could take the whole hour, but I'll try to minutes for you. So Ignite is what we call an extended orientation program. So kind of the short way that I like to sum it up is we say orientation provides you with the resources to be successful on campus. Ignite provides you with that community to be successful on campus. So Ignite is a way that we bring incoming students together with what we call Ignite team leaders. So those are current students on campus. Some programs also have faculty or staff with those programs as well. And they're talking about what does it mean to be a volunteer? What does it look like to come to sorry, there are emails coming in. Sorry, folks. What does it look like to come to campus in the fall? What does it look like to be a volunteer? How do you get involved? And we do this through 4 types of Ignite. So there is Ignite Knox, and that is a program centered around Knoxville, getting to know what exists in Knoxville, what fun things are there to do outside of campus. Then we have Ignite Leadership Summit. Ignite Leadership Summit is your most camp-like experience. So you're going to a retreat site, you're doing lots of outdoor games, kind of that type of feel. Then we have Ignite Serves, which is a program focused around service and serving specifically in the Knoxville community. And then we have Ignite Outdoors. And Ignite Outdoors is actually put on by our great friends over in Rec Sports. We do a lot of things in the Jones Center. The outdoors is not one of them. So we work with our partners over there to put on that experience. Like I said, each Ignite looks a little bit different, but a theme through all of them is getting to know your peers, getting to make some friends before you come to campus, and just learning what it means to be a volunteer.
And Laura, where can folks go to kind of learn more information about each one, and maybe where to register, or what the timing again around the registration period is?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our first program that comes up is Ignite Knox. And so if that's the one that you are particularly interested in, I would say definitely check out the website ASAP, and you can go to ignite.utk.edu. You can also visit our main office page, which is leadserve.utk.edu. Either one will take you where you need to go. And there's all kinds of information about registration and an FAQ page that has some really commonly asked questions that we hope will help get your answers.
Laura, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Nneka, I want to call on you here. We got some questions coming in about getting involved on campus, right? And how do students, especially new students, brand new to the community, brand new to campus, maybe even brand new to Knoxville, how do students go about getting involved on campus? And are there recommendations that you might have that new students can take kind of early on to really just jump in if they're interested?
Yes. So thank you for asking. So again, I work with the Center for Student Engagement. First and foremost, every student has access to what we call VolLink. I like to say VolLink is kind of like this social media for organizations, or kind of like the Facebook for organizations, but it's a great platform for students to explore organizations. You simply just log in with your UTK credentials, and then you're exposed to this whole portal, this database of organizations listed by category. It has the contact information or the most updated contact information of the people in those organizations. You can send them messages. You can see an event calendar of everything that's going on. VolLink is the best place to start. I also will add that within VolLink, there's so many things that you can do as far as involvement goes. Like once you get involved, you can actually track your service hours. You can track your involvement in a transcript that you can use for other opportunities, maybe internships to better like advocate for yourself for positions like that. Or physically, you can attend events such as the Student Engagement Fair, which will be coming up very soon, August 20th, I will proudly announce. But the Student Engagement Fair is this huge event where there will be tables lined up. Student organizations will be out there just recruiting, and you get this opportunity to mix and mingle one-on-one. You get cool giveaways. So it's really a matter of putting yourself out there as a student and really taking advantage of these opportunities that we'll have. And that's why I'm really excited to really look at what campus is gonna be like with people, because we'll have these cool events and these great events. So really it starts with VolLink, and then it continues with the student engagement fair. I hope that answers some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Nneka, just a quick follow-up. Would you recommend that new students at this point, they're at home, it's the summertime, right? And they're gearing up and they're anxious to get to campus in the fall. Would you recommend that they check out VolLink? Are they able to check out VolLink or somewhere on your website to learn about like what organizations might be available, just so they can kind of start getting the wheels turning a little bit before they step foot on campus?
So I believe if you have a UTK net ID, you should be able to get in VolLink, but if not, then definitely on our website, go.utk.edu, it will definitely take you to VolLink, or on our social medias, you can be updated. And our social medias are linked in our website, go.utk.edu as well.
Thank you. Fantastic. Claire, I would love your perspective on just getting involved. It might feel like it was a while ago. It probably really wasn't that long ago that you were a new student coming into the University of Tennessee, right? And so, what are your thoughts on how new students can kind of jump in and get involved and get engaged, no matter what their interests may be?
Absolutely. So just for some background on me, everyone, I'm not from Tennessee. I am very much from Connecticut. So I knew 2 people coming to UT, which was a lot in my book. I had no friends coming in. I didn't know my roommate. So I was very scared about how I was going to meet people, make friends, do that whole thing, as I'm sure that maybe some of you can relate to. So I highly, highly recommend going on VolLink. That's what I did. I also did Russia Panhellenic sorority as well. So for those of you who are asking if you can be in a sorority and a fraternity or be in Greek life and also do other things, absolutely, that is 100% what you should do. That's the way to make your home on campus, is by finding little groups that make you feel comfortable, that make you feel like yourself, and then kind of go from there. So basically my piece of advice to you would be, and I'm also a tour guide on campus, so this is my spiel that I give all of the people when they're like, I'm going to come here. I'm like, okay, great. Go to every single meeting that you possibly can. Go to the sorority events, go meet the Greeks, go try out for like a intramural team, go do everything that you can, because in these 4 years, and it flies by, everyone's going to tell you, oh, it flies by. Y'all, I'm a senior, and like that's not okay with me. Like the time really did go fast. So definitely go to every single club or organization that you can, even if it's just an interest meeting. You could go show up to one thing and then never go back if you didn't like it, but you could meet a really great group of people. You could try something new and really fall in love with it. So I really do recommend going to everything. I know that through student government alone, we have these things called student services committees. I mentioned them in the beginning. That's a great way to get involved. They're all different interest groups. So if you go onto our website, it's sga.utk.edu. Also, every single website that has to do with Tennessee is utk.edu. So if you just type in whatever you're looking for.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if it's like dining, housing, Greek life, you can just do that. So it's sga.utk.edu, and you can see what all of our different student services committees are. There's things like UT Traditions, Students for the Rock, Government Affairs, Technology Affairs, all of those different things that you can choose to get involved in. But I highly recommend get out of your dorm room, go try something new. It's gonna be what makes your 4 years the best 4 years. So.
Claire, you just answered like 3 other questions within that. So well done. I appreciate it. And I think you have a great perspective there. Claire, real quick, before you put your mute on, I just want to get your thoughts on, what if a student doesn't maybe want to just jump right in? Maybe what if they want to kind of get a feel for student life just as a whole, right? And what it's like to maybe live on campus, and, is that okay? Like, are they able to maybe jump in at a later time and still be able to, really find anything that might be out there?
Absolutely. I think that it's really never too late to do something. So if you want to come, I was saying it from my perspective, I'm very much the person that's like, let's go to everything and then we'll figure it out later. But if you want to go in, adjust to campus life, adjust your classes, college classes and like high school classes are very different. So it's going to be a different feel living by yourself for the first time, trying to figure out and navigate different friendships and new paths. it's a lot to handle. So if you need to take time, take the semester and kind of understand what you want to do and kind of see everything first, you can absolutely join in whenever you feel like you want to. I know that student government, we always have a rolling application on our website, as do many clubs. So if you go onto that Vol Link website, you'd be able to see when they're.
Is it just me or is she frozen? Okay, it's not just me. All right. I'm sure we'll get Claire back here in just a minute. Oh, there she is. You froze on us there for a second, Claire. You're good. Did you want to finish your thought?
I noticed like half. I don't know where I cut out.
That's all right. That's all right. No, we appreciate your thoughts, and I'm sure we'll come back to you here in just a little bit. Folks, please keep asking us questions in the chat. We've had some really great ones so far. We appreciate you asking. And again, if we don't get to them, we do have staff in the chat that are answering them directly to you as well. So just make sure that you're paying attention to the chat even after you ask a question in case the answer is coming back to you in that way. Jennifer, if you don't mind, I want to get your thoughts again. I know we kind of talked more specifically last time, but I just want to kind of approach things a little bit more generally, from your perspective and working in the office that you do, what are some of the benefits of being in fraternity or sorority life here at the University of Tennessee? And for a student who might be on the fence if they should go through recruitment or not, like what might you say to that student?
Yeah, well, I bet Claire could answer that question really well as well. Really, the biggest benefit is finding a place where you matter and belong. And that's going to be the biggest benefit that you get out of joining a fraternity or sorority. So you're meeting people who are like-minded. You're getting to engage in leadership, service, and social activities. It makes a large campus smaller. And what I love about joining, being a part of my organization is I've been a part of my organization for over 20 years. It dates me a little bit, but for over 20 years, and it's a lifelong membership. So I'm still involved. I still get to do things. I'm still connected. And so it's not just for the 4 years you're on campus, but it's for your entire life. And so I think that's one of the biggest benefits that you can have.
Claire, I got to call on you then. Jennifer said that you might have some experience in this area too. So definitely want to get your thoughts.
Definitely. So I had originally joined my sorority and went through recruitment just to meet people and make friends. And I went in with the mindset of, I don't know what this is. I don't know what to expect. And I think that it honestly gave me everything and more that I could have. And it sounds so cheesy, so I hate to say it, but it really does give you a group of people who want to see you succeed and want to see you push yourself and do well. I always say this is my sorority sisters are my number one advocates and also like my biggest supporters, but they want to see me do so well. I've never studied so hard than I have with like my sorority sisters. I see them doing it and then I'm like, oh, like I should probably do my homework too. So we kind of all come together in that way and try to make sure that we're pushing each other to do our best and be our best selves, which is great.
Thank you. Fantastic. I appreciate both of you chiming in on that. Laura, I want to go ahead and kind of throw a couple other questions your way. We've had a few somewhat specific questions about Ignite again, but I think they're good ones and want to make sure that people have a good grasp on some of those details before they leave here tonight. The first one that I want to throw your way is, are students able to register for multiple sessions of Ignite, or maybe I'm wondering if they mean like the different types of Ignite programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you can attend one Ignite session or all 4 types of Ignite. It is totally up to you. If you want to attend all 4, we've had students do it in the past and they love them all for their unique style. Each program does cost $200. So just a note there, when you register, you actually won't pay when you register. It'll be put on your account in August. So just a note as you do register that there is a cost associated with it, but we would love for you to attend all the Ignites if that's something that you're interested in.
Laura, are transfer students able to participate in Ignite, or is it just for first-year students?
Yeah, absolutely. Transfer students can attend. I will say just a note, most of the students will be incoming first-year students. So as long as that's something that you are okay with, then absolutely, there is still a ton to be gained as a transfer student and lots of people to meet. So you certainly can benefit from it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to keep you here, Laura, but I want to shift gears a little bit away from Ignite and focus a little bit more broadly on volunteering here at UT. And could you shed a little light on just what might be some of the unique volunteer opportunities that students have during their time at UT? And this one person in particular wants to know if there are opportunities specifically to volunteer, like animal clinics in Knoxville. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so that's a great question. As the volunteers, we do a lot of volunteering, and it's in what we do on campus. So kind of an overview of what our office does. I mentioned Ignite, but we also have many different programs. So we have programs ranging from 2 hours to 4 years and kind of everything in between. All of our programs have some piece of leadership development and some piece of volunteering in them. So certainly, if you are interested in volunteering, I would say check out a program in our office to get engaged in, but we by no means own service in our office. Greek Lab does a lot of volunteering in service. Our student orgs also do a lot of volunteering. So it is found all over campus. We just really aim to be a resource and kind of a hub for you to find those opportunities. We have something on our website called the Sign Up to Serve calendar. So we have, like I mentioned, a lot of organizations that do service through their work. But if you are just looking to do service on your own, this is a platform where nonprofit partners can say, we have a need at this date and this time, and it's posted on this calendar. And then your student can look at this calendar, find things that fit their schedule, and then sign up. And then their contact information goes to the nonprofit and they can communicate together. So that's a really great way just to kind of see what exists in Knoxville. We have lots of work with animals. So that specific question about working with animal shelters, we have 2 large animal shelters in Knoxville. One is called Young Williams Animal Center, and then one is the Humane Society of the Tennessee Valley. And so those are 2 that we work with a lot, but there are many more organizations that work with animals as well.
Laura, thank you. And one last one that I think is really important, and just kind of more of a logistics. Our new students, they're anxious, right? And they're wanting to jump in and get some hours already taken care of. Are they able to start tracking their volunteer hours that they're doing this summer for the upcoming fall semester?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll also note, speaking of animals, I have a dog scratching on the door. So if you hear that, apologize. The timing was great though. So if you are doing service this summer and you want to track those hours, you certainly can track your hours. So as long as you have a net ID and password, you can log into our platform to track your hours. 2 things I will mention though. The first is that if you are tracking your hours for a service requirement, just note that oftentimes that requirement is per semester. And so if you have to get 10 hours for the fall semester, hours that you track now will not be included in that fall semester because it's done during the summer. So just a note there, most organizations would consider it semester by semester. It does depend on who is giving the service requirement, though. You could certainly ask them. Those that don't know anything about our service hour tracking system, we have a portal and it's trackyourhours.utk.edu. You also can find it from our main website. And this is a place where you can just put all of your service in one spot. So oftentimes people do that because it is required, but I also would say track any service that you do because you never know when you'll need it. So you could be applying for grad school or an internship or all kinds of things. And to be able to print that on a letterhead or just be able to give that information is really helpful. So I would say from day one that you're here on campus, make sure that you're tracking your hours. And we do have a specific definition of what community service and volunteering looks like at UT. And that information is on the website as well. And again, that's trackyourhours.utk.edu.
Wonderful. Laura, thank you. I'll give you a chance to catch your breath a little bit. That was fantastic. I appreciate it. Jennifer, if you don't mind, we have some really great questions you might be able to respond to. We have a family member asking where they might be able to go to find out about some of the financial responsibilities and like costs associated with the varying sororities and fraternities on campus.
Great question. Our website, gogreek.edu. If you go on the left-hand side, you'll see about us. And if you go to our councils and organizations, you'll see a list of every single one of our chapters. Yeah. And if we are able to, some organizations keep that information private until you express interest in their membership process. So if we're able to put out financial information, then you'll find that on each individual chapter's page. And so you'll see ranges, you'll see if there's a facility associated with it, you'll see housing costs, meal plan costs, all of that kind of stuff. So go greek.utk.edu.
I just wanted to hear you say it one more time, Jennifer. That's it. and I'm going to throw this one at you as well. And I don't know if this is one you can answer or not, but if you get into a sorority, right? Do you have to live 1 year in the sorority house, or are you able to opt out of the housing arrangement?
Yeah, that's a great question. So traditionally, bottom line is we have to fill the house. So each organization has a different process as to how they do that. And so some it's based off of GPA, some it's officers have to live in the house. A lot of the time it is the sophomores that live in the house. And because that's just a good opportunity to, as you're getting started, to get to know the chapter a little bit and take on leadership opportunities. Claire looks excited. Did you live in the house, Claire? Yeah.
I did live in my house. Y'all, if you have the chance, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah. And so there's certainly, we will have, especially in Panhellenic, we will have pledge classes of probably around 90 to 100 this year. So there's obviously not enough room in each facility for all of those individuals. And so that's just a really great question to ask as your student is going through the recruitment process of what are the requirements? How do you go about deciding who lives in the house? When will this happen? All of that kind of information so that they know going into their second semester kind of where they're going to live that sophomore year.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And again, go to the website too. There's lots of great information and details there. Jennifer, thank you so much. Nneka, I want to go ahead and get your perspective on a fantastic question that we just had come in. Can you provide some examples of some of the culturally based clubs and just overall activities that we have here at the University of Tennessee?
Sure, yes. I also want to note that our Multicultural Student Life Office definitely has some great events and great programs for our students who are interested. On the organization side, I actually want to pull up VolLink and just show you how easy it is to just look at everything that we have to offer as far as the categories go. So as I logged into the portal, I clicked categories and I went to the multicultural. I also want to note that different organizations, they're kind of more, some are more broad, some are nuanced. They can fall into multiple categories, which is really cool because if students have those particular interests, they can find very much like-minded students and students who may identify similarly. We have organizations such as the African Student Organization or Association, the Asian American Association, the Black Music Alliance. We have Brothers United for Excellence. And also in this, they give a brief description of what the org is about before you click and explore some more. We have the Filipino American Association. I'm skipping around here. We also have the German Club, Italian Club, Korean Pop Appreciation Association. We have the, we have also our multicultural Greek letter organizations as well from the D9. I'm looking at Sigma Gamma Rho right now. We have Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences, otherwise known as MANNERS. So many here. I can go on and on.
It's a great list. It's a great list.
Yes, but definitely VolLink is the plug for all of those cultural connections. They're definitely here. And again, our Multicultural Student Life Office also hosts great programs as well.
And we just had one of our staff members behind the scenes post the link to VolLink in the chat, folks. So the link is right there if you want to check it out now or check it out after we wrap up here this evening. Claire, I wanted to get your thoughts here again. As a current student, you know, students are excited right now. Family members are excited. We have a lot of first generation families coming into the University of Tennessee, you know, and so in your opinion, you know, right now at this stage, you know, it's late June. What should students and family members just be doing to kind of wrap their heads around all the things that they'll be able to dive into once they set foot on campus, again, in regards to getting involved or Greek life or volunteering. What should they be thinking right now, and how can they kind of best prepare once, the semester kicks off?
Yeah, definitely. A big question. I know that's one that I had. I think that the biggest thing that I could tell you that I know that people told me is everything will be okay. Like, this will all be okay. When you show up to campus, you are going to be surrounded by people who are going through the exact same thing that you are. So everyone else is also trying to join clubs. Everyone else is also trying to make friends and try to navigate this new situation in their life. So just know that you're not alone at all. There are other people that are going through the exact same thing as you. But what you should get excited for is definitely, I think football is a big thing that I just have to mention about the fall. In what I did, I followed a ton of people on social media as well. So I was all in the girls Facebook group, the Massey Hall, which is where I live. Shout out if anybody, or that's where I lived freshman year, if anybody's living in Massey. But I followed those social media pages just to try to start familiarizing myself with faces on campus. I also was just following different clubs and organizations. So I actually did follow just a quick shout out plug to my own Instagram account, the UTK SGA account. I highly recommend you follow that stuff because you'll get alerted with new things that are going on campus. I think that's a great way just to kind of stay involved. It's a little bit more personalized than an email or a web page. You can always DM those accounts as well. I know that the person that runs our account, he's just a friend of mine. So if you guys have questions and you need answers and you don't really know where to look, I think that social media is a great way to get excited, but also be informed. As far as what to do on campus, when you step on campus, you will be overwhelmed with the amount of people who are willing to help you and willing to vouch for you and willing to find things out for you. So if you have questions, I really encourage you just to ask them. And just, I know that that can be very scary and a daunting task on its own, but send an email, walk into an office. Really, everyone on campus is there to help you and there to encourage you. So I think that getting excited is like, I'm so excited for all of you. This is such a fun chapter and a new beginning in your life. And it's just going to be so unexpectedly great. So I would just be excited for all the new things that are going to come. I know that it can be scary, but I promise it's going to all work out very, very well. Oh no, you're on mute.
Thank you. I was saying, Claire, I don't think anybody else here could have said that any better. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. Real quick, Claire, before you mute yourself, I think one thing that goes kind of forgotten is that, you don't, and to be engaged on campus and to be involved, you don't necessarily have to maybe be a part of a club or an organization. Sometimes it's just about participating in events or things happening, right? And so I want to pivot to athletics. We have a question here about football, right? Of course. And like, how do students get tickets for football? Can you share your perspective as a student on how to get tickets to not just football, but maybe a lot of the other sports that we have here at UT?
Yes. So I'll give you my little tour guide spiel about ticketing. So all of our games on campus, except for football, are completely free to students. So I don't know if anybody saw, but the Vol baseball team just went to the World Series. So their regular series games were all free for students. We just had to go onto this website called bigorangetics.com. So as an incoming student, you'll get a UT email. I encourage you to check your email, not only for sports tickets, but for classes as well. But Big Orange Ticks is going to be your portal to everything Tennessee athletics. So if you want to go to a football game, you get an email like a week or so before the game, and it'll say, hey, do you want to come? You'll hit, yes, I do. I want to go to every single home game. And then a couple days before the game, they'll send you another email saying, great, we're excited for you to be there. Here's your ticket. You're going to have to pay your $10. You put in your information, you pay your $10, and then you get a QR code. You show up at the game with your Vol card in one hand, your QR code in the other hand. You scan it at the gate, you show them your Vol card, and then you're in the student section cheering on the Volunteers with some of your best friends and your worst enemies, depending on the game. But it's definitely an experience. I also will just little insider tip. There are these things called T-points. So T-points are what get you really up close and personal on the field or by the end zone in football games. They also give you better seating in other games. So the way that you get T credits is by going to other sporting events. So if you and your friends all go to a softball game or a soccer game or a swimming and diving track and field event, those will give you more T credits. And then when you go and you create a football group, you can do that on Big Orange Ticks. You all log in together and say, we want to sit together at the game. Your T credits will accumulate, and then you can all sit really close to the field. So that's the way that ticketing works. I hope that answers questions and doesn't confuse you. You are able, as a UT student, to go to all the games. We don't have a package system. It's not one of those things where you pick game A, B, or C. It just is really, you just have to register saying, I want to go, and then you can get a ticket. And I've never had a problem. I don't really know people that don't get tickets. I think everyone really does. So.
Claire, thank you so much. And Lindsay, who is one of our staff members behind the scenes, just put the link for the Big Orange Ticks website as well in the chat. So if you want to follow up with what Claire was referring to, definitely check that out. We have a handful of minutes here left, folks. So I'm going to try and get through kind of rapid fire questions here. So panelists, be ready. Bear with me here. Laura, we have a kind of a frequently asked question here as folks are anxiously kind of wanting to know a little bit more about Ignite, especially those who have already registered for it. Can you shed some light on, when students can expect to find out details like arrival times or packing suggestions and things like that for their Ignite session?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for sessions that you have signed up for and are registered to attend, you will get a packet of information to your UTK email specifically about a week before the program. So for those going to Ignite Knox, you will get that early next week, I believe, and all of that information will be there. If there's something that you're super curious about ahead of time and it's not already on the website, feel free to call or email our office. We're happy to get you information ahead of time. We just found that it often gets lost in the piles of information beforehand. So about a week beforehand, that will be sent to your email.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm going through here and I want to make sure if there's any other Ignite questions that I throw them your way before I let you get back on mute here. Are there any virtual opportunities for Ignite this year, Laura?
Yeah, great question. There are not any virtual opportunities. So all of our Ignite sessions are in person. That being said, for folks, particularly folks who are out of state or students who have jobs and it may be harder to get away and come to campus, we do have 2 sessions that allow you to move in early. So you're only coming to Knoxville one time, and that's to move in. And that would be our Ignite Leadership Summit and Ignite Serves. So both of those programs will allow you to move into your residence hall, attend the program, and you can find those dates on our website.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Laura. I think we are good on the Ignite front now, but don't quote me in the last couple of minutes, but I appreciate you being able to kind of share all of those details. Let's see. I think as we wrap up here, there's one question that I wanted to kind of give all the panelists an opportunity to just provide thoughts on. And Claire, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but just as members of the UT community, and staff members here, and all of us having gone through the college process one point or another, what are just some general tips that you all might have specifically for family members, right? For family members that as they're looking to kind of support their students, help their students as they might be nervous or anxious about making this transition, and they want to help them feel more comfortable and excited about coming to campus here in just a couple short months. I don't necessarily want to throw it to anybody in particular. It's a big question, I know. So definitely feel free to take a few seconds to collect your thoughts, but whoever wants to jump in here and go first, that'd be great.
I'm happy to start and kick us off.
Laura. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can say as someone who works at UT and is also an alum of the university, I truly think coming to UT is one of the best decisions that you can make. It's a place where people care about you, they care about your student, and they're just really excited to have you. So that being said, similar to what Claire said, my advice would be to get involved, to get out there, read the Vault update emails that come to your inbox multiple times a week, read every poster that's plastered on campus, and attend things. I would say for parents who are wanting to help their students feel more comfortable, just listening to them and being an ear for them when they want to talk through things. Sometimes they'll be doing things for the first time by themselves. And so, being able to say, you're not there to do it for them, but can you help talk them through what will happen and what it will look like so that they feel comfortable and confident to to do things that are new for them. And again, just encourage them to go out there, and that everyone else that's incoming is in the same position as them. So we often forget that, but all students are going to be feeling the same kind of newness. And so get out there, get involved. And if you have questions, I think any of us on this panel would be happy to meet and talk through how to do that if you get to campus and you're just not really sure where to start.
Absolutely. Thanks, Laura. Anyone else?
Yeah, sure. I would like to. Oh, sorry, Jennifer. So personally, my experience going into undergrad, I had this, I guess you'd call it like pre-game jitters. And every day I was just thinking about what if this, what if that. As soon as I touched down on campus, what put me more at ease was doing the things that I like to do. So for example, I really enjoy singing. So I had to find some sort of chorus or choir, regardless of if I knew people or not. I had to find something that I like to do. And the more that I did that, the more I was able to meet people. And even outside of joining organizations and getting involved, so to speak, even though that's what we're huge advocates for, my office plug, we put on a lot of events just for people to be, so that is a great opportunity for students to just see what's going on and just exist, just take in the atmosphere, and then get more acclimated to campus, to the community. We have a great event that we put on last year called Speed Friending, and it was literally just line people up and forcing them in this environment to talk to one another. So just know that your children are in great hands, especially in the Division of Student Life. We are very, very serious and dedicated about creating these experiences for students to just be happy, for them to get involved, or for them to just exist and be. We want to create that experience for them. So I hope that puts your mind at ease a little bit too.
The biggest thing I typically tell parents is to encourage your student to have an open mind, and to go into every experience willing to experience something new. Particularly with fraternity and sorority life, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. And so encourage them to do their homework, to look around, to read what they can, to ask good questions, to know what they're joining, because you are joining organizations that have requirements. So there are service requirements, there are GPA requirements, there are financial obligations, and that's expected if you're going to be a member of our organizations. And so just to keep that open mind and do that research, particularly when going through the recruitment process. We have a lot of women who will show up for Panhellenic sorority recruitment thinking, I want this chapter. And if they don't get invited back, then they immediately don't want to be a part of the process anymore. And I can say, especially within our Panhellenic sorority community, we have 13 phenomenal chapters, and you'd be lucky to be in any of them. And if your student is searching for sisterhood, if they're searching for leadership opportunities, if they're searching at a place where they belong, they can find it in any organization. So definitely just keep that open mind.
I'll echo that. I think that one of the best things that I had was not knowing anything about the chapters. I did do a quick Google search, saw what their philanthropies were, but I didn't really know all that much. I kind of went in with a really open mind, and I really encourage you all, whether it be going through a recruitment or trying to meet new friends and connecting with others in your residence halls, just be yourself. I know that that's sometimes really hard to do, especially when we're surrounded with people who maybe are not like us. I know that my personality can come on strong and I can be really outgoing and very loud. And I found myself sometimes not doing that just because I wanted to kind of match the energy of those around me, which is not a bad thing. But I think being authentically you and putting yourself out there in a way that maybe you didn't feel like you could in high school could be a really great opportunity. So I think that also, this is what I say on tours. Sorry if you've been on my tour before, you've heard all of this, but one of those things is that you can, in high school, you kind of choose your friends out of convenience. You pick who's around you because you're going to be with them for the next 4 years, because you go to a small school or you go to a large school, but these are the people that live by you. In college, you can really, really pick your friends by who's who's going to grow with you, who's going to push you to be better, who you find to have the most in common with. And I think that that's a really unique experience where if you come in as your authentic self, then you're going to get the most out of it. So that's my little corny thing. Also, I know that I'm not a parent, but my parents appreciate when I call them once a week. So I call on Sundays. I would encourage you all to do so as well. Your parents do want to hear from you, or your guardians want to hear from you. It can be very fun, and you can do a lot of homework in the library on Sundays. That's tend to be where I'm at. But never stepping outside and taking a 15-minute break to call home is never a bad thing. So
family members watching, I'm sure you're already scheduling those phone calls as much as you can, and hoping that your students do call you often. I want to end on that note. Claire, Laura, Jennifer, Nneka, thank you so much. Just fantastic insight. I hope our family members and even students who might have joined us were able to get a lot of their questions answered, and hopefully learned a lot about all the fantastic, again, leadership and engagement opportunities that students have here at the University of Tennessee, and whether they jump right in as a brand new student or they take their time, ease in, and they maybe find their niche later on in their UT career, that's okay. And Claire's doing a plug for the SGA Twitter, it looks like, an Instagram probably. So make sure to check them out. And a lot of our other offices have social media accounts as well that are really, really helpful and provide some fantastic updates and information throughout the entire year. So again, thank you to our panelists. I want to end real quick before you all hop off on a couple quick reminders here. First and foremost, all of our participants tonight, you're going to receive an email within the next 24 to 48 hours that is going to have a link to this recording. It will have a link to this recording. It'll be uploaded on YouTube. So if you want to reference, I know we threw a lot of information at you tonight, and we got through a lot of questions. So if you weren't able to keep up with it all, that's okay. You can go back and check out this recording as many times as you'd like, whenever you'd like. And Lindsay Davis, as you can see here, is putting links in the chat. We're also going to send you that email. In that email is going to be a link to a post-session survey or an evaluation. It takes about 30 seconds to a minute to complete. And if you can complete that survey, you might have a chance to win some fun UT swag later on this year. I do want to do a plug for our online pre-orientation. Family members, this is one of the required components for your students' Duval experience. However, family members and friends and guests are able to participate in pre-orientation as well. It's a great kind of introduction to all things UT, and a lot of the pieces that were discussed are highlighted in there as well, and then provide you with direct links and access to various websites that will provide a lot more details. So hopefully you have that link. If you don't, feel free to reach out to the email address that you see there on the screen, orientation.utk.edu. We'd be more than happy to provide you the link and instructions to check that out. It is free for any family member who wants to check it out. Finally, please check out the link to join the Tennessee Family Association. If you're a family that really wants to dive in and be involved here in the UT community, and you want to engage as a volunteer family member, it's a great stepping stone to do that. And in addition, we have another program called the Family Ambassador Program. And so we encourage you to apply to be a family ambassador. These family members serve as incredible representatives of the Tennessee Family Association, and they support various campus recruitment events and program events and various initiatives throughout the year. And then finally, last reminder, and then I promise we're going to let you go. We hope that you'll join us on July 8th for our third edition this summer for our Family Summer Series. We're going to be talking about campus services and resources that your student can take advantage of, focusing on all things academic success. So make sure to pencil that into your calendars and join us again on July 8th. We hope to see you then. Again, thank you to our panelists, Claire, Nneka, Jennifer, Laura. It's fantastic. Appreciate you taking your time out of your evening tonight. And we're so thrilled that so many family members joined us tonight. Thank you again. Don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great night, and go Vols.